Now we are live. Hi, guys.
You.
Sorry for the delay. A lot of stuff to talk about today. Before this, when we were in Zoom, and you could come in Zoom with us. Hi, Mike. Hi, Buckhands Creations. Hey, do you make things? Are you a craft channel? If you are, you'll like what we're going to be doing. We're going to be making candles here live with a bunch of people on panel. We're also going to do some Christmas ornaments. I don't know. I'm just assuming Buckhands Creations or some kind of a craft channel. I've never seen you here, so I'm really happy to have you here. Welcome. But if you are and you'd ever like to join us, that would be great. We're going to be doing some things as we go into the holidays, and I was trying to plan it out today, and I was like, okay, do something Sunday, and I'm like, oh, that's, a few of us have already bought candle kits. But even to do some ornament things, like if we'd say, okay, we're each going to show one ornament or two ornaments, how to make them, and then everybody on the panel would make them, you can put a list of what is needed. But if you are a crafter, a crafty crafter, let me know. Okay, so that would be really cool. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Robody Bob, Chris Ree, and Sean Sneed. Let me go to my YouTube. We've got a lot to talk about today, but before that, we were in Zoom, and we watched this. I don't know if you saw this brawl in a Michigan courtroom today. It was a preliminary hearing about some guy that killed, I think he was probably a young man, probably early 20s at the most, and execution style, and the kid was begging for his life. Well, his twin brother was in the courtroom, and they played the video, and the twin brother just got up and started swinging at the suspect, and then two other men started to get into it. Was like a crazy scene. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see it, but we were watching that for like multiple times, trying to figure out who everybody was and what was going on. And then with Delphi, they may unseal some of the probable cause affidavit. And then also there's a domestic incident that has emerged when they were talking about the bond. So we're going to go over that. Plus there's a Michigan husband that beat his wife to death while she was sleeping with a wrench. Terrible. And then we also have at Quinton Simon's house, not only the YouTube drama that emerged there today, but the child's paternal grandfather was hit and struck and killed in a hit and run. So there's, and then my goodness, there's something else I have too up there. But we have a lot to talk about. So let me just get into the YouTube so I can get on here with and see your chats. Oops, nope, I want to go to, hang on. I was in the middle of something here, something like that. All right. Let me go to my studio. But it was still beautiful weather here. I got my walk in, played with the puppies, played with the kids. And then what else did we do? We had dinner. Tomorrow's Friday, right? I'm so lost. Yeah, tomorrow's Friday already. Weeks go so fast. Okay. Let me come in here. There we go. Hey there, Mike. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. Thank you. Bella Sproul. Hey there. Hi, Tammy Flo. Good to see you guys. Glad you could all make it. Chris Ree, Captain Lee. Oh, Captain Lee, can you send me your address, please, so we can figure out shipping? Whisper to me. Hello there. Yeah, Dollyvision was arrested today, and we'll discuss that when we get to Quinton Simon. Yeah, we did watch that video too. I don't know what the woman with the bullhorn was screaming. I'm not talking about Betty Bullhorn. there was a woman across from Betty Bullhorn screaming something in the direction of Betty Bullhorn. Didn't know what she was saying, but you do see Dolly going around, and he doesn't touch the woman, but he grabs the megaphone, bullhorn, from her, and she's still holding on to it, which like kind of jerks her arm. Allegedly, and I didn't see the video of anything after that, allegedly I heard that that woman, I think, tried to run someone down. However, the cops arrested Dolly. He was later released. Somebody that was watching their channel was a bondsman and came and bailed him out. So, yeah. That was interesting. And, of course, all the craziness involved in that situation, right? But let's go and talk about Delphi first. One thing at a time. Oh, my gosh, it scared me. Okay. Let me go here. Oh, and then what am I talking about? Gabby Petito. That was the first thing. Her parents, had a press conference, which I watched today. And I will tell you that I was very shocked by what was going on in the chat. I watched it on WFLA. And in the chat, there were people that were saying like, oh, I like these parents until they filed this lawsuit. Now everybody just wants to be a millionaire. I can't believe they're doing this. This doesn't do anything. I think they were saying like to help their daughter, or this is not going to bring about any change. This is all about them wanting to make money off this. It was horrendous stuff they were saying. And I was going back and forth with this woman, Karen, of all people. I believe her name was Karen. And saying, do you think that they're doing this because they're doing this because the only way people are held accountable, and we all know that, okay, if you just say, oh, I don't like the way you did that, it's just going to continue. And if you think back to the way police handled domestic violence cases, let's say back in the 80s or the 90s, things didn't change until O.J. Simpson. And then because of how things were handled there, they started to take domestic violence calls more seriously. At that point, they'd be like, oh yeah, they've got cabin fever. Oh yeah, they're on each other's nerves. There's a whole different protocol. And it keeps getting, it's stringent. And especially, I don't know, in other states, but like in the state of New York, if someone calls on a partner that there's an incident, they will not leave. They have to take one partner away. And usually one is arrested somehow. So because they have to, they can't leave the two people together. So a lot of things have changed based on other cases. So yes, Gabby's case can set a precedent for change. But what happened in the Moab case is that the officers did not follow the protocol. And they looked for a loophole in order to not arrest someone, but also they treated Gabby as the aggressor. They didn't have better training, that they understood that she was definitely almost like in a Stockholm syndrome. She was scared of him. You could see she was making excuses for him not to, walking on eggshells, and they treated him as the victim. So that's what the parents are saying. Now, we know money talks, right? So yeah, sometimes to set a precedent, you do have to litigate something, and it doesn't mean that, oh, they're like so happy they would trade any money for their daughter, in the blink of an eye. But it's just so hurtful because now you can just see where it's going to go, and they're going to be, there'll be plenty of people in support of them, but you can see already the people on the internet, if you watch that chat, that were going at them and that will go at them. And the sad thing is they're going to go at them by going at their daughter. And that's what these kind of people do. They're always the perfect parents. They do this, they do that. They sit there and they judge. Well, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Everybody wants to get rich. They just want to do this. I'm looking down on them now, and it was horrible. That part of it was horrible. But the parents did file a suit today. Hold on, let me grab this and just put this up so we know who we're talking about. And I did watch the press conference, and I'm sure WFLA has it up there if you missed it. They filed a $50 million lawsuit against the Moab Police Department, accusing them of allowing Brian Laundrie to leave after an argument with Gabby Petito. The plaintiffs have accused the Moab Police Department of failing to protect Gabby when officers responded to the domestic problem 2 weeks prior to her murder. And they were talking specifically about Officer Pratt, who was there. It claims the officers didn't try hard enough when questioning Brian Laundrie after they pulled him over in a white van near the Arches National Park in Moab. The lawsuit added that the Moab officers treated Laundrie as a domestic violence victim instead of the aggressor. Now remember, that's even after they read reports where the eyewitness said that he was slapping her and he was trying to keep her out of the van. We feel profound sympathy for the Petito and Schmidt families and the painful loss they have endured, says the city of Moab. At the same time, it is clear that the Moab City Police Department officers are not responsible for Gabrielle Petito's eventual murder. The plaintiffs allege that one of the officers involved in the incident, identified as Eric Pratt, was in a previous domestic altercation himself in which he reportedly threatened to kill a woman. The lawsuit stated that Pratt was fundamentally biased against Gabby and sided with Laundrie. Petito's family said that the Moab police had an opportunity to save Gabby's life when they responded to the call, but weeks later, Brian strangled her. After Gabby's death, Laundrie is believed to have traveled back to the family home in Northport, Florida. On September 13th or 14th, he reportedly left his parents' home, and subsequently they reported him missing. On September 17th, 2021, he ultimately took his own life in the Myakkahatchee Environmental Park. And then Gabby was found deceased in Wyoming on September 19th, 2021 at the Grand Teton National Park. Brian Laundrie's remains were found later on in the Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park, and that was his partial skull. There was not much left of him, but there was enough to determine that he died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And so now they have that going on. So yeah, I expect a lot of controversy around that. Saw it today, and I feel bad for the family because to me it seems they're going to be the new people that are attacked, especially through social media. Let's go on. They were already making remarks about their parenting and yada yada. All right, let's go to where are we? Okay. So now we're going to talk about the unsealing of part of the probable cause affidavit in the Delphi suspect. Accused child killer Richard Allen's probable cause information could be unsealed depending upon a judge's decision in an upcoming hearing this month. And where's that? Hold on one second. I'm not sure. What was that? I think that, was that a Patreon thing? I'm not, what was that little, that might be a Patreon thing. Well, thank you for whatever that little sound was. It usually shows on Streamlabs, but for some reason, I don't know, I can't see it. Let me see. Which one it is? Okay, well, we'll find out. Maybe it's a delayed reaction. But the Indiana law enforcement announced on Monday the arrest of Allen, 50, who's been charged with 2 counts of murder in connection with the 2017 death of Abby Williams, who was 14, and Libby German, 13. The judge the hearing has been scheduled for November 22nd to determine whether the probable cause in connection to Allen's case will be unsealed. Carroll County Circuit Judge Benjamin Diener is expected to preside over that hearing. At this time, it's unclear what information led to Allen's arrest. Okay, so they may unseal it. We'll have to wait till November 22nd. See what happens there. But there is a domestic incident that emerged. Let me pull that right over here. So, accused Delphi killer Richard Allen was given a bond amount on Wednesday as reports of a previous alcohol-fueled domestic incident surfaced. Richard Allen being held, and he's not at the Carroll County Jail, he's not there, on a $20 million bond. Indiana law enforcement announced Monday the arrest of Allen, who's been charged for the murder of Abby and Livy. Let me see. According to court documents, police were called to Allen's home in Mexico, Indiana at about 3:30 a.m. on June 18th, 2015. So that would be, the murders were February 13th of 2017, and this is June 18th of 2015. Okay, so over 2 years before. After a domestic incident report, the documents indicated that Allen's wife contacted police after he became drunk and belligerent, ended with her taking him to the hospital for a medical evaluation. Police said they were contacted to keep the peace and no one was arrested for the incident. Allen reportedly grew up in Mexico, Indiana, and that's where his parents are from. It's about 38 miles north of Delphi. Neighbors and residents who remember Allen said that they would have never suspected him pulling off such a heinous act. He was an all-around good, normal, everyday family man, said David Yoder, who lived across the street from Allen. There's nothing out of the ordinary about him. I would have never thought, living across the road from him, that there was anything. That's where I would have sent my kids if there had been any trouble. It's just hard to believe because he's a heck of a nice guy, always has been. He's lived in Delphi since at least 2006. Allen's home is around 5 miles away from the Mononhigh Bridge, close to where the girls were found slain. Several Delphi residents also remember Allen as a nice guy who worked at the only CVS pharmacy in town and spent time as a regular in local pubs. The owner of JC's Pub in Delphi, Bob Matlock, said that he was stunned to learn that Allen had been arrested for the murders. I just couldn't believe it when they arrested him. I said, well, that can't be the Rick we know, and then we come to find out it was. There wouldn't be any inkling to anyone that we would expect him to do something like that. He just didn't seem like that type of person, but you never know. So, yeah, so that's interesting. So June 18th of 2015, he became drunk and belligerent. His wife contacted the police. That could give you a lot to think about. You think when he was drunk and belligerent, was he telling her of any desire to do anything like that? Was he telling her about something in his past? She thought he was drunk. Yeah, I don't know. You've got a lot of things can go through a person's mind thinking about what the heck does that have to do with anything. I wonder what he was saying when he was drunk and belligerent. Very interesting. So now there's a missing mom and child. Let's see. I believe it's Louisiana. The Bastrop police in Louisiana are searching for a woman and her 3-year-old son who haven't been in contact with family for weeks. Family members filed a missing persons report on November 2nd in connection with the disappearance of 32-year-old Jaisley Ann Green and her son, Bo Morgan, who's 3. Jaisley is also reportedly known as Jaisley Morgan and Jaisley Stanley. Morgan Stanley. Isn't that funny? Green is described as a white female who stands 5'7" and weighs 128 pounds. She was last seen in Bastrop with her son. Anyone with information on the pair's whereabouts should contact the Bastrop Police Department at 318-281-1322. This is the developing story. Contact back. You know what I'm going to say? Oh yeah, November 3rd. That was my father's birthday. That is my father's birthday. He's not here anymore, but he's here. Anyway, yesterday, today, or it still feels like it's the 3rd, but the 3rd was my father's birthday. I know that the 3rd was something for somebody else here too, and I forget what it was. But anyway, yeah. So hopefully they'll be found. Let's see. And then we go to the Michigan husband. This is just horrendous. Beats his wife to death with a wrench. The husband of the Michigan woman found beaten to death in her Waterford Township home early this month has been charged with murder. Police say Justin Wagenberg, 37, killed his 38-year-old wife, Katie Dougherty, with a wrench while she was sleeping on a couch. He's been held without bond in the Oakland County Jail, and a competency exam was ordered after he appeared confused at his arraignment on Tuesday. Dougherty's family said that Wagenberg fled to Wisconsin after the murders on October 16th, but returned. Well, on the way back, he said he found Christ or something over the last month or something, and so he decided to go back home and turn himself in. But he came home first and went to bed for I don't know how long, and then he called police, said Dougherty's father. Wagenberg has been charged with homicide, family violence, according to jail records. Dougherty was a hairdresser who worked at an assisted living facility in Oakland County. She provided a full salon experience for the residents there. That's just ridiculous and terrible. Unbelievable. Now, let's talk about we're going to talk about some different things about Quinton here. First, investigators are now saying that the chances of finding Quinton in the landfill are low. This is 4 weeks into the search for the missing Georgia toddler. Investigators still believe that Quinton Simon's remains are in that Chatham County landfill, but that they've always known the chances of finding him were low. Now, in social media posts on Wednesday, the Chatham County Police Department said that the FBI investigators have dug through thousands of tons of garbage at that landfill, and they aren't done yet. After thousands of hours investigating and gathering evidence, everything still points to Quinton being recovered in the landfill and his mother, Leilani Simon, as the primary suspect in his death and disappearance. 20-month-old Quinton's mother, remember, she reported him missing at 9:30 a.m., and she said that her boyfriend, Daniel Youngkin, was the last person to see him around 6 a.m. Leilani has reportedly told investigators she believes the boy's biological father took him, but police say, nope, that didn't happen. The biological father's alibi checks out and didn't happen. After 2 weeks of searching, police announced that they believed that Quinton's body would be found in that landfill outside of Savannah, and that his mother was the primary and sole suspect in his death. They said, and I quote, "We believe he was placed in a specific dumpster at a specific location." And that came from Police Chief Jeff Hadley. "I have every belief that we will find his remains here at the landfill. But after weeks of digging through the garbage, investigators have not found a single sign of the boy. We knew going in this landfill search the odds of recovering Quinton's remains were low," police said. "Most landfill searches do not end in a recovery due to many factors, including the volume of trash to search and the compression of the debris. However, we stay focused." Leilani Simon's boyfriend, Youngkin, hasn't been seen since the start of the search, and the mother remains at the family home. Now, there's a lot more that's occurred here. Let's get up to this here. So we have the grandfather of Quinton Simon has died after being hit by a vehicle in Burke County. According to the Burke County Sheriff's Office statement, 61-year-old Henry Bubba Moss Sr., who's been identified as Quinton's paternal grandfather, was struck and killed by a vehicle on Wednesday morning. The incident happened at the intersection of Claxton Road and Brigham Landing Road in the 9900 block of Highway 23. Police say the driver fled, leaving the victim's body lying on the road. Investigators believe the incident happened between 5:30 a.m. and 7 a.m. The Georgia State Parole is assisting BCSO in investigating the death. Okay, and here's the press release, which we'll bring up here. To all media partners, the Burke County Sheriff's Office is assisting the Georgia State Parole with a pedestrian fatality that occurred this morning on the 9900 block of Highway 23 between Claxton Road and Brigham Landing Road. When deputies arrived on scene this morning around 7:20 a.m., they found a deceased white male lying off of the roadway. Preliminary investigation indicates the male was struck while in the roadway by an unknown vehicle. We are asking the public's assistance in identifying the deceased male and locating the person and vehicle responsible for striking the individual. The male subject is described as being approximately 5'11", weighing 290 pounds. It's believed the male was struck sometime between 5:30 a.m. and when he was discovered. Sheriff Williams is offering a reward for the information that leads us to the individual responsible for this hit-and-run fatality. Callers may remain anonymous and can call 706-554-2133 or reach out by Facebook Messenger on our Burke County Sheriff's Office page, or you can send an email to blah, blah, blah. Okay. So we have that. And let me just see something, because I was told that okay. And we're going to get to that in just 1 minute. All right. Let's go back. Did we get to Quinton Simon? So, all right, let's talk about, there's also another development, if you will. Jimmy Williams, the YouTube creator known as Dollyvision, has bonded out of the Chatham County Jail. He faces charges of simple battery and disorderly conduct following his arrest near Quinton Simon's home. And that was this afternoon, meaning Thursday. So, yeah, again, like I tell you with that bullhorn incident, there's been things that occurred there this afternoon, and the media was there and covered some of this. They've arrested Dollyvision and booked him into the Chatham County Jail. Let's see. Police in a statement called the protest outside Quinton's home a money-making circus. Williams was arrested after he grabbed a woman. They say he grabbed a woman and ripped an air horn and papers out of her hands. The incident was caught on video. I only saw one video clip of it. Like I said, I didn't see him grab the woman. I saw him grab the bullhorn. It was forceful, she was holding on to it. I did see that. I didn't see anything what they said that I heard, somebody tried to run over someone else. And the grandfather of Quinton, who was killed, Henry Dale Moss Sr., let me just see if I can, this is him. So he was killed by a hit and run. And I think there was a sheriff's, let me see here, a statement that was put out. I don't know about all of that. Let's see. So there's something 8 hours ago from the Chatham County Police Department on Twitter that says this afternoon some of the protesters moved to the Chatham County Police Department headquarters at 295 Police Memorial Drive. This is a much more appropriate place to hold such a protest. See if there's anything else here, because there was something else and then somebody said that they put it on a Facebook page and then deleted it. So let me just see here. Okay, so here's the some photos of that extensive search in the landfill that's been going on for Quinton, and okay, now 8 hours ago. All right, here we go. This is a statement from the Chatham County Police Chief Jeff Hadley. Over the last 3 weeks, while the Chatham County Police Department officers have been focused on finding Quinton Simon, a growing number of people calling themselves protesters have gathered outside of Quinton's home on Buckhalter Road. While the Chatham County Police Department supports everyone's right to protest peacefully, we also support the rights of citizens to live in a peaceful environment. The people on Buckhalter Road calling themselves protesters have made that nearly impossible. Since October 12, 2022, when the first YouTube protesters arrived, we have responded to over 50 calls for service in the 500 block of Buckhalter Road, and we have made multiple arrests. This has taken precious resources away from our department at a time when we are focused on the most massive investigation in the history of CCPD. Many of the people claiming to want justice for Quinton have turned his tragic and heartbreaking case into a money-making circus, and they have made it impossible for the people who live in this area to enjoy the peace and tranquility of their homes. This is unacceptable and has to stop. Over the next few days, we will be unveiling some measures to limit the disruption to this small community. Neighbors have had to endure more than their fair share of noise, vulgarity, and police presence over the last 3 weeks. We will do everything we can to once again give them a sense of normalcy. This afternoon, some of the protesters moved to the CCPD headquarters at 295 Police Memorial Drive, and this is a much more appropriate place to hold such a protest. Let's see some of the comments. Someone said, I don't know who will all get this, and I will try to put it as simple as I can. To the protesters, it's great that you're protesting, and that's your right, and I feel your anger towards Quinton's mom. But it's not right to bother neighbors who've done nothing, who have nothing to do with this. Protest the best you can there at the police station, but do it in an honorable way, especially for Quinton. He wouldn't want his neighbors to be bothered this way. Why would he want to be found and given a proper resting? What he would want is to be found and given a proper resting place, and for his mother to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. By taking time from law enforcement to come deal with protesters is not going to honor him the way he should or would want, and it takes police away from the real issues at hand and real police work. I am obviously very upset over what happened to Quinton, just as any parents would be, but I have to put my own ego and pride away so the police can do their jobs with the FBI and others to find Quinton and put his mother away for this. We all, unfortunately, have to be patient and allow those searching and getting evidence for the justice of Quinton. Otherwise, we are not helping and we are making things worse. help the police in this matter by protesting in a way that doesn't get them called out there and having distractions. This isn't about us. It's about a little boy getting found and justice served to the mother and anyone else that could be involved. Okay. Somebody says, thank you. This has been absolutely ridiculous for the community as well as all law enforcement. $9.99 for these protests YouTube channels. I don't know what that means. They want the disturbance because it's making them money. Thank you for putting a stop to this. You guys have enough to deal with. And a lot of this stuff is everyone should be praying that baby Quinton is found. The neighbors have been through enough and should not have to endure anything other than peace in their neighborhood. Praying for all law enforcement agents who have tirelessly searched for baby Quinton. Praying to God every day that baby Quinton is found so that he can have a proper resting place. Rest in peace in Jesus' arms, baby Quinton. I don't know why there's something exactly. Protesting and disturbing people's lives in their neighborhood is unacceptable because doing it out there isn't helping anyone. We're all on the same team. We all want justice, and the police are working hard to nail her to the board. Be patient. Your anger is misdirected. They are working tirelessly on finding baby Quinton and making sure justice is served for this sweet, precious baby boy. They're not protecting her. I'm sure they're not happy she's walking free either. They're being thorough. Let's remain united in justice for baby Quinton. Thank you for your efforts, CCPD. And said this is absolutely crazy. Wow, do your job and arrest her. We want justice for Quinton. Bail bondsman got him out free of charge. YouTubers doing anything and everything for money. It's sad when they use a missing child's name to give them a boost in views and cash. People think they are above the law, as these protesters did. They put everyone in hell, protesting on a live video, name-calling, slander, threats, and much more. This isn't my state, but I've watched. Kind of funny. I watch it all day, and it's not the YouTubers causing the problems, but your own community that wants justice as well. The family putting on a show for people to taunt said protesters. Why don't you do your jobs and arrest the violent criminals, including those baby killers? Seems to me you're just trying to lay blame at everyone else but yourself, Chief. The neighborhood locals have been on camera thanking them and showing their support for the YouTubers. Your own officers are saying that they are watching it and they love them. Do your job. If you had, you wouldn't have a street full of protesters. I can't wait till they protest in front of the PD and DSS office. Poor baby boy won't get justice because of the police chief. She is on probation. She has been seen drinking. You could arrest her. Try again. Someone said, I've seen some of the videos where Olivia said she wanted to monetize her videos. I bet the neighbors are about to snap. That's what we've been telling them to go from the beginning. If they wanted to protest, it's not about Quinton for them. They grift off this child. Some of them have made up to $12,000 to $15,000 over the last 3 weeks. They are a disgrace. These protesters make it their habit to claim to care about such causes as Quinton's, but are simply there to stream to their YouTube channels and make money. The amount of money and donations alone is disturbing. I hope that one day YouTube takes it upon themselves to deplatform such garbage. Most have very lengthy criminal records themselves and are under the influence of more than enough narcotics and controlled substances. I am for peaceful protesting myself, but this crowd is not there for that. Each and every one of them are streaming to one channel or another on YouTube and sharing their Cash Apps, Venmos, etc. While doing so, that should tell you all you need to know. Stand up for your community. This is a much bigger issue, like how many more killers are running around free there. Okay, so, and then another thing from a day ago. It said 4 weeks ago today, this is from the Chatham County Police Department, we received the call that would spark the largest search and most far-reaching investigation in the history of Chatham County Police Department. It was the call that little Quinton Simon was missing. Today, the FBI and Chatham County Police Department searchers are continuing to work tirelessly in the landfill to recover Quinton's remains. After thousands of hours of investigating and gathering evidence, everything still points to Quinton being recovered in the landfill and his mother, Leilani Simon, as the primary suspect in his death and disappearance. We have spent 2 weeks digging through thousands of tons of garbage. The landfill search has been a task more grueling than anyone could imagine. We would like to thank the many people, both here and at home and around the world, who have offered support and encouragement during these last 4 weeks. We appreciate every word and act of kindness for our department and everyone who is working so hard on this case. Okay, and so that, let's go. I think we've covered all that now. Let's go back to, where are we? I'm going to look at this now. Arkansas, where a pregnant Arkansas woman was found shot dead in Missouri on Thursday, a day after the baby she was carrying was found in a separate location. Amber and Jamie Waterman, both 42 years old, have been arrested on kidnapping charges, Benton County Prosecutor Nathan Smith said. The couple has not been charged with the murders of 33-year-old Ashley Bush or the baby, Valkyrie Grace Willis, because investigators have not determined where they were killed. Bush was 31 weeks pregnant. She had 3 other children, ages 8, 7, and 2, and was engaged to be married. Smith said investigators have not yet determined a motive. This is just a reminder that there is evil in this world, he said. People do evil things, and that someone would prey upon a pregnant woman at her most vulnerable state is unimaginable, but unfortunately, that's the world we live in. Investigators say Bush was last seen on Monday afternoon in a pickup truck driven by a woman she met online who had taken her to a job interview in Bentonville. The woman who told Bush her name was Lucy was actually Amber Waterman. Waterman picked Bush up at a convenience store in Maysville for the ride to the job interview. At about 3 p.m., Bush texted her fiancé that she was on her way back to the convenience store and could be picked up there. Josh Willis, the fiancé, told investigators that he saw Bush in the truck with Waterman at the intersection where the convenience store was located, but instead of turning into the parking lot, Waterman drove off on Highway 43. Investigators said that they are still working out a timeline on the kidnapping and murder, and that the FBI is involved as well as officials in Arkansas and Missouri. The bodies were both found in McDonald County in southwestern Missouri, which borders Benton County on northwest Arkansas. According to the jail records, the Watermans are being held without bond in McDonald County, where they're listed as residents of Pineville. Now, I was wondering when I heard this, was it something where they were trying to steal her baby, doing one of those, they're trying to take the baby by a cesarean section for some reason, or I don't know what's going on there, right? Yeah. Very crazy. Unbelievable. Okay. And road rage, and this is, keep saying this, and I say it, all the time now on the road. You don't know, these people rage. An 8-year-old girl shot during an Arizona road rage incident last week has died, and the man police say responsible has been charged with murder. Sidney Garand is 48, also faces 4 counts of assault and 1 weapons and explosives count, and that's according to the Maricopa County Jail records. Court documents that were received showed multiple calls about 2 men fighting in the street at about 11 a.m. last Thursday. They arrived to find the fight had escalated into something much more tragic. Cassidy Moreno's 28-year-old father told police that the incident began when Garand apparently became upset when the father turned left in front of him at a 4-way stop. Garand reportedly turned around and followed the man and his family, which included his wife and 3 daughters. The family was on their way home from the girls' school awards ceremony. At a traffic light, the father and other witnesses say that Garand pulled up behind the other vehicle, got out of his Jeep, walked up to the family's car, and punched the father through the open window. The father got out of the car with a folding knife and began swinging at Garand because he said he feared for his family's safety. Witnesses reported that Garand had the father by the neck at one point, but that the dad injured Garand with the knife and got away from him. He got back into his car to drive away when Garand got a handgun from the passenger side of the Jeep. The family heard gunshots. A witness reported 5 or 6 rounds fired, and the mother looked into the back seat and saw Cassidy bleeding. She called 911, and the little girl was rushed to the hospital in extremely critical condition, and she died Saturday afternoon. Both Garand and the father were taken to the hospital as well. The father was treated for cuts to his fingers, and Garand was treated for cuts to his neck, shoulder, and chest. He was released on Monday and booked into the Maricopa County Jail. Investigators say he refused to speak with detectives after his arrest and invoked his right to an attorney. The court documents show that the father believes Garand was aware that his family was in the car because he looked back into the back seat when he punched him through the window. Terrible. Absolutely senseless. Officials have released a 911 audio from a woman who was reportedly kidnapped by her estranged husband last month and almost buried alive. Young An, 42, called 911 via her Apple Watch despite being hogtied and gagged by Cheon, 53. The suspect allegedly came to his estranged wife's home and abducted her before he was seen speeding past a police cruiser with the victim in the back. The Lacey police say that Che also stabbed Young before trying to bury her alive in a 19-inch deep hole in the woods. The couple was in a dispute over money amid a divorce. In a 911 call, a dispatcher can be heard asking, "What's going on there?" They also ask Young if she is hurt. Young, who is muffled, is heard begging for help. Che allegedly snatched the watch off of her and beat the device with a hammer, but the call remained active. A police officer responded to the residents minutes after the reported abduction, which authorities were unaware was transpiring at the time. Che is accused of dumping Young in the woods located 7 miles from her home. He attempted to cover her with branches and leaves. However, hours later, Young reportedly crawled out of the hole and ran for roughly 30 minutes before being spotted by a Good Samaritan. Police found Chan in the woods about 6 hours later. Young reportedly had a restraining order against her husband, but she had it rescinded before the October 16th incident. The husband, who is charged with attempted first-degree murder, first-degree domestic violence kidnapping, and first-degree domestic violence assault, is in jail without bond. I read about this. I remember hearing that, guys, but I thought he killed her. I'm glad that he didn't kill her. Let me see if this is the 911 call.
911, what are you reporting? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? What's going on there? Okay, I'm going to get help started to you. Hold on for me for just a second. Do you know the address that you're at, if I said it? Are you at? Hold on, I'm going to get help started for you, okay? I'm getting help started, okay? I'm going to stay on the line with you. Just hang tight, okay? My partner's getting help started to you. Can you hear me? Okay. I'm starting help to... Is that right? Okay. Are you having a medical emergency? You are? I'm still here, okay? I'm still here, okay? I'm not going to hang up until help is with you, okay? I'm getting help started for you, okay?
At some point, he takes the watch off her, and then
I'm still here. If you can hear me, I'm still here.
beats it with a hammer. Sounds like it might be now.
I'm still here.
Yeah. Wow. It's amazing you can still hear that call. Almost sounds like gunshots. You can still hear her.
Are you still there? Okay. My partner's starting help to you, okay? Hang tight. Are you hurt?
It's crazy. The dog's barking. Now you hear nothing. No? Now you still hear the dog.
Are you still there? Ma'am?
Now maybe he got the watch away.
Police department. You're inside, make yourself known. Police department. Lacey Police Department, if you're inside, make yourself known.
Okay, that's the end of that. That's weird. Okay. At least she lived, right? Horrific. So we have a Minnesota man arrested on Saturday. He allegedly killed his daughter's boyfriend. Michael LaFlex is 45, and he shot his daughter's boyfriend, whose name is Bryce Brogel, 23, in the back of the head from a distance, and then took his body and buried it in Crow Wing County. The boyfriend was reported missing to police by his girlfriend, LaFlex's daughter, just 2 days after going into LaFlex's storage unit with him on October 26th. Police searched the storage unit on October 29th and reportedly found blood and a bottle of bleach. They discovered Brogel's body in a makeshift grave the following day. LaFlex allegedly told police that Brogel had been taken into custody by unidentified law enforcement, who also confiscated 2 cell phones. However, LaFlex later admitted to discarding the phones in a garbage can at a gas station. A landlord for Brogel and his girlfriend told police that LaFlex asked if Brogel hurt his daughter. The landlord said the daughter had 2 black eyes, to which LaFlex allegedly responded that he was going to kill Brogel, and he already dug a hole. Layflex is believed to have moved Brogel's body to a shed before cleaning the storage unit with bleach. Layflex told a relative at some point that Brogel would not be found as he buried his body. Layflex is now charged with second-degree murder, and he's due in court on November 15th. Let's see here. Colorado. 2 Colorado firefighters were recently suspended because they allegedly pronounced a woman dead who was actually alive. On June 24th, Denver Lieutenant Patrick Lopez and firefighter Marshall Henry responded to a welfare check for someone who had recently had stomach surgery and had not been heard from for several days. Denver police officer Eugene McComas first responded to the residence and found a woman whose skin was discolored, her body was leaking fluids, and she reeked of decomposition. Lopez claimed that a police officer told him and the firefighters did not need to enter the home because the woman was obviously deceased. Lopez allegedly called an emergency doctor over the phone to have the woman pronounced dead. When the phone rang, he handed it to Henry, who reportedly stated that the woman was in an advanced state of death, despite neither of them personally evaluating her body. Henry also stated that the woman was bloated, had no pulse, and showed no signs of trauma. The Denver Department of Public Safety determined that Lopez and Marshall left without ever checking the woman. McComas subsequently entered the home to check for weapons and realized the woman was actually alive. He called firefighters and EMS back to the scene, and they transported the woman to the hospital. The woman survived. The Department of Public Safety said Henry notified the assistant chief of the incident the same day it occurred. However, Lopez reported it only after learning Henry had done so. Further, McComas denied Lopez's claims that he told firefighters not to enter the home. The agency concluded it was more likely than not that Lopez lied to his supervisors, so McComas would take the blame. McComas nor anyone else at the scene recalled the police officer telling firefighters not to enter the residence. Lopez was issued a 14-shift suspension, while Henry got a 10-shift suspension. Both suspensions are without pay. Lopez was also demoted 2 ranks and faces termination if he receives another violation in the next 5 years. Henry's emergency medical technician certification was suspended in light of the incident. Okay, and then what I was telling you about in court, we watched this, and you can, if you want to watch the video, you can find it. But it is the twin brother of a Michigan man, which is this man here in red, who was murdered in July, reportedly attacked the accused killer in court on Wednesday after they were shown footage of the murder. Jeray Robertson's brother left the courtroom gallery and struck Jeffrey Clark, who's the suspect here, in the back of the head. Clark was apparently unable to defend himself as a waist restraint restricted the full use of his hands, but he did get in there and they had to pull him back. The attack occurred during a preliminary hearing as prosecutors presented video footage that apparently showed Clark killing Robertson in a parking lot in Macomb County. The surveillance video depicted a victim lying on the parking lot while another man stood over him with a gun. The suspect was filmed opening fire multiple times as the victim put his hands up, presumably begging him to stop. Prosecutors were in the process of showing additional footage when Robertson's brother attacked Clark. Prosecutors also said that Clark had a GPS monitoring device on his ankle at the time of the shooting. According to authorities, the shooting stemmed from a disagreement Clark and Robertson had in Roseville. Clark allegedly fired shots at Robertson, who fled on foot before getting into a car with a woman. Clark is believed to have found Robertson running in the area before the murder. After the courtroom altercation, Clark is heard saying, "They gonna see you," as he's dragged away. Robertson's brother and another man are restrained, and a third man, identified as Clark's father, is overheard arguing in the courtroom. Near the end of the video, Robertson's brother is seen handcuffed in the side of the courtroom. "You still shoot him," he says. "He's on the ground. He's still begging not to kill this man." After order was restored, the preliminary hearing continued without any other interruptions. It's unclear whether Robertson's brother will face criminal charges. So yeah, it was a really chaotic scene. I don't know if you've seen it, but if you haven't, you can check it out on YouTube. Let's see what else we have here. Let's see what happened in Michael Valva today. So the prosecution and defense delivered their closing arguments in the Thomas Valva murder trial on Thursday. Prosecutors opened with a photo of the 8-year-old boy taken on the day before he died. He was at school with red cheeks and red hands, giving a thumbs up. They then showed a photo from Thomas Valva's autopsy and described him as the same broken little boy shown in the photo when he was alive. Carrie Ann Kelly, the lead prosecutor, said Michael Valva had complete disregard for Thomas Valva's life. She said the child was banished to the garage and there was physical abuse in the home, saying that the child was being tortured in that house of horrors. Prosecutors say the father had no emotion as he walked past his son's backpack that was left in the cold garage where the child slept before dying of hypothermia. They say Michael Valva walked past the backpack many times before his arrest and never even looked inside the last thing his son left behind. Defense attorney John Laturco said Michael never wanted Thomas to die and described the case as a tsunami of emotions. The defense said that the district attorney wants to demonize the father and portray him as a cold-blooded monster. But Laturco told the jury that second-degree murder is an overzealous charge. He said that Michael Valva is guilty of child neglect, maltreatment, atrocious parenting at times, lying to police by not giving them a full narrative of what happened, and saying horrible things to his son. However, when it comes to murder in the second degree, Laturco said, we claim there are a plethora of reasonable doubts. We strategically told the jury that Michael was guilty of criminal negligent homicide. He failed to perceive the risk of that day, and he was a negligent part of Thomas's death. We hope that the jury would be less inclined to find him guilty of the depraved indifference murder charge. Jury deliberations are expected to begin tomorrow. If convicted on the top charge of second-degree murder, Michael Valva faces life in prison. I think he'll be found guilty. What do you think? So it's like the most horrendous case. So, let's see what else we have here. Let's just check in on Lucy Letby. See what happened today, okay? Let me get her photo up here. Okay. Prosecution, led by Nicholas Johnson, asked Child D's mother to confirm details. Child D's mother tells the court that she developed a concern about her water breaking, which the court hears was well-founded, as her water broke when she woke up on June 18th. The hospital told her to monitor the situation. She waited and rang the hospital again and was told to go to the hospital. At 11:30 a.m., she arrived at the hospital, and the staff confirms that her waters had broken but did not test. Then they checked her and her baby, not for very long. Were you, in effect, sent home after being examined? Yes, the woman says. The following day, the mother returned to the hospital and saw a midwife. Were you examined and various checks performed on you? Yes, not straight away. I had to wait. Did you express concern to staff at Countess? The mother said her waters had broken over 24 hours before. She didn't feel right, and the baby didn't seem to move as well, and she was concerned about infection as she hadn't been given any antibiotics. The decision then was to induce her. She said the staff was very busy and she was not placed on an IV. She was placed on an IV, but not for many hours. It was very delayed. The mother said she was also very worried and scared, unwell and not in control, and forgotten up by the staff. It was nearly 48 hours after her water had broken. On a trip to the bathroom, she noted blood coming out. She said someone had to do something. She then remembered seeing a doctor and recalled a description for her. It was the first time she had seen a doctor since her admission. She said she was essentially that both her and her baby girl were okay, and then a natural birth would be considered, and that would be reviewed 4 hours later. By 3 p.m., the mother had discussed the situation with her husband and concluded that she would be less patient and call for a C-section if there had been no progress. The mother was informed natural birth would be the preferred option to a C-section. The mother said it had been about 50 hours since the water had broken and the C-section was considered, as there had still been no dilation. She said she was there with little progress and said that it was the first professional who spoke to me and addressed my concerns. At 11 a.m., the mother was assessed again by a different doctor. She recalls a description of the male doctor. After the C-section decision was made, matters moved a lot more quickly. Events moved a lot more quickly after staff had initially appeared chilled. The doctor then confirmed that she would receive a C-section, as he said it was not a good idea to wait any longer as the baby appeared distressed. At 3 p.m., the mother was reviewed by the same male doctor, and he was more concerned about the situation as she appeared more tense. Child D was delivered and lifted over the screen for the mother to see. The mother recalls seeing no life, lifeless. She did not scream. Everything was quiet in the room. Mr. Johnson said if there was a nurse in the theater room at this stage, the mother does not recall. The mother was taken to a ward while medical professionals dealt with Child D. The mother recalls seeing Child D very briefly in the operating theater before the staff took her away as they had concerns. The mother said she was very aware of things going on despite having received anesthetic. She did not have physical contact with Child D, but her husband did. The mother was taken to the ward. The mother was taken to a further room, and it was there that she had physical contact with Child D. Her impression of Child D's condition at that point was really worried, as she was brought to my chest, but she didn't have any movement. She looked limp and pale. She struggled to breathe and was making a groaning noise. She really wasn't responsive. There was a split second where she opened her eyes and looked at me, and then no response. I tried to breastfeed her, but she was completely limp, so I was worried. A male pediatrician informed the mother not to worry, as the delivery had been through C-section, so the breathing wasn't as clear. The mother said she didn't believe what he said. His attitude seemed too careless. The mother said she thought something was wrong with child D, and one of the midwives would assess her in a couple of hours. She said she did not want to wait that long, wanted another doctor's opinion. The same doctor came back, but he had spoken to a consultant. The mother said she was not reassured, but she was glad someone took me seriously. She said she was worried child D was taken straight to the neonatal unit intensive care. The mother said she felt rubbish, drained, and she didn't feel any relief. She was in pain and knackered. The mother said it was around 7 to 8 p.m. when she was separated from child D. The following day was Father's Day. The mother was given the news that child D had been up and down all night, struggling with feeding, and staff didn't seem too concerned then, but child D wasn't great. The mother believed that she had been spoken to by a female consultant doctor that morning. The mother said she recalled child D needed to be on a CPAP machine, and that every time they tried to take her off, she would crash. She said the staff did not seem overly concerned, as child D was a good-sized baby and making progress despite being poorly. Other tests showed that she seemed fine. The mother said she was able to see child D at about 7 p.m. that day. The mother said she had spoken to a doctor before heading to the neonatal unit. A drawing that the mother had made showing a plan of the neonatal unit room is shown to the court, showing the positioning of child D's cot, other cots, and crosses identifying a number of medical machinery. Child D's mother said she had spoken to Dr. Andrew Brunton at 9 to 9:30 p.m. and was told he was very happy with child D's test results. They had done more scans and she was well, and promised her she would be able to hold her and cuddle her the following day. The mother said she was not in a good condition herself, being moved in a wheelchair and 10 to 10 pain on morphine, but was happy with child D. Child D looked like a good pink baby, tiny but chubby, and looked healthy. The next time she saw Dr. Brunton the following night, she and her husband were woken up at 4 a.m. by a nurse to come quickly, as child D was poorly. They rushed downstairs, and Dr. Brunton was holding her and trying really hard to resuscitate her. We were just standing there looking at child D dying. The doctor was quite agitated, and the couple heard they had to let child D go. The mother said she could not stay there anymore and asked to be taken away. A nurse, who the mother believed to be Lucy Letby, was holding a phone to Dr. Bruxton's ear, she recalled. The mother said she had seen Lucy Letby before, when she went to see child D in the neonatal unit at about 7 p.m. The mother recalls, as she was wheeled into the room, Lucy Letby was hovering around, not doing much, with child D, and had a clipboard and was looking at the machinery. I didn't understand what she was doing. And the mother asked if child D was fine, to which Lucy Letby said she was fine. Lucy Letby just stuck around and was just looking over us. The mother said she asked Lucy Letby to just go away and leave us in privacy. Mr. Johnson asked if Lucy Letby was in the neonatal unit room at the time that child D died, and the mother agreed and says that the other doctors were in that room. The mother said she did not stay in that room. The mother recalls she was taken to a private room where child D was, along with her husband and another family member and a nurse she had just seen before. The mother said she did not see Lucy Letby again. Ben Myers, for the defense, is now asking the mother questions. Mrs. Myers says it was an awful experience what the mother went through, and says he has one or two questions to ask her. He asks her about the 7 p.m. neonatal visit on June 21. The mother says she went back there with her husband. She recalls about 7 p.m. as she must have looked at the clock. She said there was an exchange of few words between her and Lucy Letby. Mrs. Myers asked if it was Mr. Myers asked if that was possibly another nurse. The mother replies, I don't think so. The judge said Mr. Justice Goss asked for clarification. The mother said she would not have known the name of Lucy Letby at the time, but would after seeing her picture after she had been arrested. The court then agreed on evidence, a statement from the father of child D. The court hears the statement from child D at 4:25 a.m. on Monday, June 22nd. He says he does not remember any specific problems from the mother's pregnancy, but had immediate concerns when she was born, as she appeared gray and was not crying. Initially, we were reassured by staff, and he said he believed them and never thought that child D would die in the circumstances that she did. The father recalls the circumstances leading up to the birth as recalled by the mother. He recalled the mother did not respond to induction measures and had mild contractions between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. on June 20th, but had not dilated. She was encouraged to wait for inducement methods, but she did not want to, as she had been in labor for some time. They were told medical staff was monitoring the situation and were told antibiotics were not necessary at this stage. They said they agreed on a C-section at about 4 p.m. The mother went for an emergency C-section. Child D was held above the sheet momentarily and wrapped up, taken to the scales. We weren't informed of any issues. I was led to believe everything was okay. He said child D was very quiet, which was unexpected, and held her in his arms. He said he was not sure if child D was given any breathing support at this stage. He went back to the ward with child D for a brief time, and he and the mother put pajamas on her. However, she didn't seem interested in feeding at all. They said that they were told child D was doing well. We were repeatedly asked if she was okay. We weren't comfortable on how she was. Medical staff kept telling her child D was okay. A few hours later, a different pediatrician came and child D was taken to the neonatal unit. The parents were later told that child D was not well. It was a bit of a shock when the father saw child D in the neonatal unit, as she was very poorly, wasn't feeding, and had lots of tubes in her mouth. Nursing staff always made the father feel welcome when he arrived. On June 21st, the father went to see child D and was almost certain he saw she had been taken off the CPAP. He said he frequently visited the neonatal unit and asked staff. It was Father's Day, and I was given a homemade Father's Day card. The staff had put it together and had a message from child D with a photo stuck inside. On the first photo, she has the CPAP. I took that with me. Later that day, I was given a welcome card and a photo which showed her looking better and not on the CPAP. In the early hours of June 22nd, he was woken by a nurse and had to go quickly to the neonatal unit as child D was poorly, and they were taken there quickly. When we walked in, we understood immediately it was a very serious situation. Andrew, the senior doctor, seemed to be in charge. I remember someone mentioning adrenaline, and there was a sense of urgency. Andrew had a phone up to him, and he was discussing the situation with someone on the other end. There seemed to be some confusion over what baby they were talking about. The person on the other end seemed to be referring to a different child. They were unsuccessful in resuscitating child D. They said they had been trying to resuscitate child D for over 20 minutes. I couldn't tell you which staff were in. As I wasn't paying much attention, I didn't want to look. He added the parents weren't in the room for too long, about 5 minutes. He says he does not recall seeing Lucy Letby at the time. He said he went back to the ward and informed another family member of the news. A statement from another family member of child D is read out to the court. They said that they had visited child D in the neonatal unit. It didn't even cross their mind that she was in danger of dying. When she died, we just weren't prepared for it. Nothing I saw appeared out of the ordinary, but I didn't have anything to compare their actions to. Okay, then next is the prosecution was going to give the sequence of events, as had been the case for child A, child B, and child C. The evidence has been presented to the jury electronically on iPads. Intelligence analyst Kate Tyndall has returned to give evidence and give a walkthrough to the jury of the evidence tiles in the electronic bundle. Saying the first evidence shown to the court is Lucy Letby's shift patterns for June 2015. It shows what days her shifts were on long day shifts and night shifts. She worked long day shifts on June 2nd, 4th, 17th, 19th, 27th, 28th. She worked night day shifts on 8, 9, 13, 14, 21, 23, and 22. Child A died on the night of June 8th and 9th, and Child B had a non-fatal collapse on June 9th and 10th. Child C died on the night of June 13th and 14th. Child D died on the night of June 21st, 22nd. The evidence shown to the court shows Child D was born at 4:01 p.m. on June 20th, weighing 3.13 kilograms or 6 pounds 14 ounces, and required breathing support at birth. The APGAR scores were 8 at 1 minute of birth and a 9 at 5 minutes of birth. After birth. Child D was admitted to the neonatal unit at 7:30 p.m. on June 20th for respiratory support requiring ventilation. Child D was grunting and her color was dusky. Child D was placed on a CPAP with 40% oxygen support and placed on double phototherapy. Dr. Ahmed Chowdhury noted discussing Child D with the parents, saying on moving baby to labor ward, she became blue and dusky, SATs 47% on arrival, NNJ and bagging, SATs picked up, given antibiotics, baby put on CPAP, not explained to the parents yet. Okay, there is a record of the administration of antibiotics and sodium chloride to Child D. The court hears phototherapy was to treat the Child D's jaundice. Child D was administered with an endotracheal tube on the second attempt. The nursing notes Child D was starting to get out a few breaths for herself now. An X-ray reading for Child D showed shadowing consistent with transient tachypnea of the newborn, which is a TT and a respiratory disorder. A nurse's note recorded meeting the father who had visited the neonatal unit, and it was explained to him that Child D would be on the neonatal unit for at least 48 hours, and the dad was visibly upset, so lots of reassurance was given to him. A further nursing note at 4:30 a.m. on June 21st showed that Child D was making good respiratory effort and blood gas readings were good, so ventilation support was reduced. Another nursing note at 7:21 a.m. recalls the father visiting the neonatal unit. It includes, father appeared overwhelmed, so lots of reassurance given. A note from the nurse, Kate Bissell, read on 9 a.m. on June 21st that Child D was extubated following satisfactory blood gas. Child D was initially she became regular after a couple of minutes. Okay, so she was given the CPAP, but breathing became regular after a couple of minutes. Kate Bissell, in a subsequent nursing note, said the blood gas reading at 10:15 a.m. was subsequently taken, and the results showed signs of respiratory acidosis, so the Child D was put back on the CPAP. The blood gas was repeated 2 hours later and showed further deterioration, increasing metabolic acidosis. Child D's perfusion was poor, and a doctor approved a decision to administer medication. Dr. Ahmed Chowdhury recorded a UVC, and a UVC was inserted. Family communication note was made at 5:53 p.m. Said dad visiting most of the day. He is up to date with the plan of care. Mama has visited this evening. Both parents were anxious and the levels of care provided, about the level of care provided. A nursing note at 7:15 p.m. shows that there were attempts to get Child D off the CPAP, but breathing was still shallow off that, so they continued with the CPAP. Swipe data showed that Lucy Letby arrived at the neonatal unit at 7:26 p.m. The handover note showed Letby was one of the nurses on duty that night, with a different nurse being designated nurse for child D in room 1. Letby was the designated nurse for 2 other babies in room 1. At this time, another nurse was looking after child B in room 3. The court had previously heard that child B had suffered a non-fatal collapse earlier that month. Further observations for child D are documented throughout the night. A neonatal infusion prescription chart at 1:25 a.m. for child D is shown to the court. Lucy Letby is one of the 2 nurses to provide a signature for a saline dose prescription at that time. Child D then first collapsed at 1:30 a.m. Mr. Johnson said, "This is within a very short time of the document with Lucy Letby's signature on it, isn't it?" Kate Tyndall says yes. A nursing note, timestamp for 1:30 a.m., but written retrospectively, recalls, called to nursery ward. Child D has desaturated to 70s, required oral suction as well as was bubbly and had lost color. Discolorations to skin observed. Trunk, legs, arms, chin. Notes of medication are made. At 2:40 a.m., a neonatal infusion prescription chart is recorded for a sodium chloride dose with 10% dextrose. Letby is one of the 2 nurses signing for it. The medication administered update is made on the computer at 2:44 a.m. At 3 a.m., child D collapsed for the second time. The nursing notes recorded for 3 a.m., child D crying and desaturated again to 70%, commenced on 100% O2 via CPAP and picked up well, but skin discolored again. At 3:20 a.m., a further neonatal infusion prescription is made with Lucy Letby being one of the signatures. At 3:45, child D collapses for the third and final time. The nursing note recalled the alarm went off and child D desaturated and then became hypnotic. Called Letby. Resuscitation efforts began, but no effect. A bleep alarm went off and doctors were called to the neonatal unit. The court showed a number of clinical notes made by doctors for this time. The clinical notes will be discussed further when the doctors involved in this come to court to give their evidence in the coming days. They include the resuscitation efforts, administration of adrenaline doses, and the decision ultimately to discontinue CPR. Child D died at 4:25 a.m. A text message from Lucy Letby to a colleague was sent at 8:36 a.m. said, "We had such a rubbish night. Our job is far too sad sometimes." The colleague responded, "No, what happened?" Letby said, "We lost child D." The colleague said, "What?" "But she was improving. What happened?" "Want to chat? I can't believe you were on again. You are having such a tough time." Letby refers to child D being messed about a couple of times and refers to a rash that looked like overwhelming sepsis. She adds that 2 members of staff said the circumstances would be investigated. The colleague replies, "Dad was very anxious all day," and adds, in relation to the investigation, "What's the delay in treatment?" Lucy replies, "Just overall looking into the case and reviewing what antibiotics she was on if sepsis." The colleague says child D was behaving septic. She adds to Letby, "Oh, hon, you need a break." Letby says in her response, "But it's part of the job, and it's hard for everyone." The colleague responds, "Yes, but you have had it all recently." Letby says in her response, "Well, it's happened, and then it's got to carry on," before referring to her planned time off. The conversation then discusses staffing arrangements and the difficulties of the job before noting an instance of a happier occasion on the unit. Letby says, "How do such sick babies get through and others get to die so unexpectedly?" Her colleague, in her response, says, "We just don't have magic words." The colleague refers to child D look like to what Child D looked like in their care, Leppy replies, I think there is an element of fate involved. There is a reason for everything. The colleague adds, it's important to remember that death is not a failure, and says that Leppy is an excellent nurse. Leppy, in her response, accepts the need to take positives from the job, but is just too sad to watch what the families go through. A nursing note by Yvonne Farmer recorded that Child D was blessed by a reverend with the family present, with hand and footprints obtained. The note adds, parents had lots of cuddles and said goodbye to Child D. The parents were also given a bereavement box with mementos and information on the SAND charity. Further messages were exchanged between Leppy and her colleague the following evening. The colleague asks, how are you doing? Leppy replied, I'm okay, trying not to think about it. Work busy, but at least we have 6 tonight. The colleague inquires about Child D and whether anything has been said about not bringing her through sooner or on Saturday. Leppy replies, I don't think so, before adding that there was a theory Child D may have had meningitis. The colleague responds, I'm worried I missed something. Leppy says, I don't think any of us did, and Child D was on the right antibiotics. The colleague replies, yeah, just would treatment sooner have made a difference. Leppy asks her colleague if Child D had a lumbar puncture. The colleague replies she was not sure if it ever got done, given that the baby girl was ill and had just been on a CPAP. She adds that gas reading was appalling when she first came through to the unit. Leppy, in her response, says, I think we did what we could. She then refers to the condition of the mother of Child D. The court hears on 9:51 p.m. on June 25th that Leppy searched for both of the parents' names of Child D on Facebook. Towards the end of June, Leppy sent a message to a colleague. Work has been awful. The colleague responds, oh dear, staffing probe? Leppy, in her response, says, we have had 3 unexpected deaths, adding that the unit is full. She adds that what I have seen has really hit me tonight. The colleague asks, have you worked today? Leppy says, no, I've been off since Wednesday morning, and now it has all hit me. The colleague asks if Leppy tries to talk to a proper counselor. Leppy replies that she does not think she can. The colleague says, why not? Leppy says, I can't talk about it now. I can't stop crying. I just need to get it out of my system. The colleague advises Leppy to think carefully what to do before adding, maybe you need to take some time off. Leppy says, work is always my priority, adding she has not cried about the incidents until then. Let me see here. Okay, so that. What else do we have here? So there'll be more tomorrow. Let me see here. Leppy made a further 2 searches for the father of Child D on Facebook on October 3rd, 2015. Leppy is originally from Hereford, denies the murders of 7 babies and the attempted murders of 10 others at the Countess of Chester Hospital between June 2015 and June 2016. Trial will continue tomorrow, so we'll keep following it. Horrible. She's evil. Doing that to people's lives, it's just unbelievable. Okay, let's see if there's anything else that we need to touch on. think that we get that. Let's see. We went over the handyman, his guilty plea. We did that yesterday. Oh, the 6-year-old Florida boy is reunited with his mother. And after his grandmother and father kidnapped him and then they went to Canada. Let's see. The 6-year-old Florida boy was returned to his mother after his father allegedly kidnapped him and took him to Canada, where police found the child after someone spotted him inside a Walmart store. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police said that George Jojo Morales was located in Moncton, New Brunswick on October 30th. His father and grandmother were arrested after the child disappeared during a custody visit with his father in August. A subsequent investigation found that Morales' Florida apartment had been cleaned out and the three, Jojo, his father, and grandmother, fled the area. George Morales, 45, was taken into custody at a business in Moncton, said the RCMP. And then the grandmother, Liliana Peña Morales, was taken into custody 40 miles away in St. Paul. Now there's, let's see. The mother said, "My worst nightmare came true. The court granted us overnight for the same reason. We were able to demonstrate that he was trying to move without telling anyone. Before we found out, he was living in a hotel first without knowing anything. And every time that we would go in exchange for the custody, he would come out of his house like he was living there when he wasn't. So he was living a lie." And let's see. Prior to divorcing Morales, Concepcion, the mother, said his behavior had become increasingly alarming. Hold on. Increasingly alarming, he would reportedly change his son's diaper right after she had already changed him and would cook dinner right after she made dinner. He lost his mind during the divorce. I don't know how he turned out into this person. I felt like a prisoner in my own house. And him, me, and my son became an obsession for him. So we wouldn't even go anywhere without him, which was including his mom's get-togethers with kids and all of that. He was obsessed in a sick way. Those are horrible and miserable times for me and my son back then. And then I was miserable when my son would feel it. And then when I decided to get divorced. Miami-Dade Police Director Freddie Ramirez said that Jojo's rescue was due to local, state, federal, and international law enforcement, along with the United States and state attorney's office, coming together for the safety of the child and will continue to work together to fight the greater evil. Police say the suspects had been planning the abduction for a year. Both will be extradited back to Miami to face charges, which will likely include custodial interference. Okay, I think we are done in the true crime right now. See what's going on with everybody here. We go put this here. Hello. Okay, so okay, so hi Snow Remover. Hi Christina Ferrari, who else snuck in here while I was there. What's going on, Mike? What happened, Mike? Hi, Jackie Blue. Whisper to Me, Pamela Patrick, Judy. Element W, hi. Well, Lisa. So what else is going on, guys? What's going on? How come the chat's not moving? I don't see the chat moving at all. It's very odd. I don't know whether my thing is stuck or what. Hello. Okay, Captain Lee fan. I didn't think I didn't know what was going on. Well, after all that, we need a little bit to unwind. I am tired, but we haven't played the real estate game in a few nights. So we're going to do a couple of those, okay? All right, good. I'm glad you agree. Oh, you love that game? Oh, thank you. Okay. Let's see what we're going to look at. Okay, so we're going to go to Virginia. This is an incredible opportunity to own a charming bed and breakfast, a wedding venue, and vineyard. It sits on 13.7 acres. This property includes 2 historic homes with 9 ensuite guest rooms with separate owners' quarters, a picturesque 1-acre vineyard that has been meticulously maintained, a pond, a saltwater pool, a gas fire pit, a gazebo, an event barn, and more. The orchard house was built in 1885 and was seamlessly converted to a B&B by the previous owners and redecorated and renovated by the current owners. Step into an incredible, successful business on day one that has 5 stars on Google. Recent renovations include, but are not limited to, the event barn conversion, the 3 guest bath remodels, orchard house kitchen remodel, pool installation, whole house generator, gazebo, and farmhouse transformation. Keep your business running with Firefly, fiber optic internet, and electric vehicles charged while your guests snooze. Much room for growth wherever the new owners choose to take this historic property. Even more beautiful in real life is a comment the owners get all the time. So let's see what this is going to be. This house is going to have 11 bedrooms, 11 bathrooms, 8,796 square feet, and it's on a lot size of over 12.5 acres, again built in 1885. Okay, so let me just grab this and see if we can get the be very, very careful. Hold on a second. Trying to see if I could get this without the, just trying to do the pictures more efficiently. Let me see if I can do this. It's not going to work like that. Hold on. Let's see if it would go on to... Okay, this may work. No. Alright, we'll just do it the old way. Never mind. Okay, sometimes I can grab an easier way to show you the pictures. So get out your pens and your pencils. Look at that sun coming through. The water spigot like Helen Keller, right? Remember the Helen Keller movie? With Annie Sullivan? So it has a nice front porch there. It's like mine has the same color on the floor as mine. Is this a thing now, that you don't hang the mirror, you just prop it up against the wall? Is that a thing now? What is up with that? I've seen that in a few places. I think that would be like a liability, especially in a bed and breakfast. What if a little kid went by and that fell on them? So this is just her little mail room. It's a nicely appointed little room. Nothing to write home about there. That's a nice bedding, so that's a nice quilt. Everybody's drinking wine. There's the gazebo. Pond with the fountain. The guest house? Or the pool house? I don't know what that is. The saltwater pool. Did we see a kitchen in that other one? I'm getting confused. This is like the guest house, huh? Those beds are nice and high, and those quilts are nice. That's a nicely appointed little room. I like the quilts that she has. Oh look, chocolate chip cookies, yum. That's other one we stayed in, the Mirror Lake Inn. They had really nice chocolate chip cookies. Now I feel like a chocolate chip cookie really badly. There's the barn. Not the most exciting looking barn for a venue, right? I'm seeing much better. Okay, so we're back to the start, and again, while you're putting in your guesses, okay, it was 11 bedrooms, 11 bathrooms. The owner's quarters is that second house. You've got the main house on over 12 and a half acres. So you can put your guesses in there. Captain Lee fan says 1.5 million. Hi, Flo. Sharon, get the freak out of here with that answer. Sharon says 789K. Flo, too low, too low. Everybody's too low. Marianne, Captain Lee, everybody's too low. That's a turnkey business, right? What do you have to do there? Absolutely nothing. You buy that place, you can open it up, host a wedding the next day. You can take in guests and start making money that night. You could fill up those guest rooms. That's better, Flo, but not good enough. Captain Lee fan, yes. Yes, $2.5 million. Do you not think that's a turnkey establishment? It is. 2.5 if you want that. I'd buy it just for the porch swing. Okay, so let's go back and now this is distinguished, refined, and established. It's rare to encounter such a stunning residence with timeless appeal as one would expect of an estate of this caliber. There is a quiet dignity at first approach through the gated entrance, down a long winding drive, past specimen plantings and seamless gardens, until you come to the handsome 1939 stone and stucco manor home centered amidst 25 acres. Meticulous renovations and additions have provided every amenity to live an inspired lifestyle. No detail was spared in the design and construction. Flawless blending old world craftsmanship with every modern convenience, the 13,000 square foot stone residence is replete with stylish elegance and the fine appointments of high ceilings, antique cherry hardwood floors, and deep moldings. The quality of this manor home is remarkable, with elaborate stonework and 18-inch walls. Classic in design and detail, this living space includes elegant formal rooms, a handsome family room, a grand 2-story pub room with a second-floor library, a custom-designed theater room with reclining leather chairs and bar, dual staircases, an elevator, a game room, and a garden room with year-round lap pool. The gracious interior spaces are detailed with spectacular millwork, exquisite finishes, custom moldings, barrel and coffered ceilings, and 7 fireplaces. Let's look inside. Oh, did I tell you this is in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania? Pennsylvania. So there you have the tennis court, you have this atrium arbor area, you have the pool, spectacular grounds. Look at that beauty. Look at that. That looks like an inn. Looks like the Crystal Springs Inn in around Warwick, New York. Vernon, I think it's just New Jersey. I think that's where they put that. I think it was the old Playboy Mansion they used to say, but it looks very much like that. We've stayed there. That's where my kids really learned. Ethan learned to jump into the pool, and he had like no fear of the water. He went down this thing. They wouldn't let them wear life jackets. Oh my gosh, it was so scary. So you can swim all year in this luxurious lap pool. Nice large kitchen. Unfortunately, that's all they're going to show you of the house to make your decision, but while you're putting in your guesses, I'll read you a little more. Numerous stone verandas overlook a spectacular in-ground pool with an infinity waterfall, grotto, circular slide, and spa, all surrounded by stone walls, tended gardens, 2 outdoor barbecues, and 4 fire urns. Adjacent is a tennis court and a handsome reproduction Bucks County stone cottage designed as the pool house, inside a full kitchen, bath, loft, second floor, and walk-in fireplace are presented in classic details. That sounds dangerous. A detached greenhouse and raised bed area are positioned for southeast exposure. All of these abundant recreation facilities provide multiple options for exercise and outdoor enjoyment. Belterre is set in classic picture postcard landscape where each eye-catching turn provides a host of rich hues and attractive accents. Ever-changing vistas from every vantage point provide scenery in autumn and winter as stunning as in spring and summer. Okay, let me see what you've said. You're all under. You're all under. Hi, Joni Marie. Hi, Marianne Frontini. I know I saw you before, but I don't think I formally said hello to you. You're all too low. You're all too low. Closer, Captain Lee. Closer. You're still too low, though. You're still too low. You're too low, Sharon. You're too high now, Captain. Too high, too low. It's 8.9 million. Okay, let's go back and do another one. Okay, here's a new one. We're going to a sweet southern serenity on acreage in Richmond County, North Carolina. Okay, the person that wrote this description of the home has been familiar and fascinated with this house for 50 years. It's located just outside the city limits of my hometown, Ellerbe, North Carolina. I've always admired this enchanting home and its inviting rocking chair front porch and lush acreage. So they're going to tell us that the owners, what do they have here? The proximity to Camp Millstone 4-H camp, to the John Lines firing range, DeWitt Sporting Clays, the North Carolina Field Trial Grounds, and the extensive Sand Hill Gameland Preserve make this a sportsman paradise with features like beautiful wood flooring, cathedral ceilings, French doors galore, slate flooring, built-ins, and many windows with plantation shutters that allow lots of natural light. There's no denying this is a true treasure. It has been lovingly updated but has retained every drop of charm. When you enter the double solid wood front doors, you step into a spacious foyer with a soaring ceiling and lovely staircase. Well, let's just go inside ourselves, right? Shall we? Yes, we want to. Let me see if there's a better way to do this on this one. Let's see if that'll work for us. It's faster. Yes, it might work on this one. Let me see. Yes, okay. Let me pull this over. And then I can look at your chatty chatter. All right. So there's the house. This has acreage. What is this? What is this? That needs either dusting, I think a combination of dusting and maybe a little refinishing, huh? Look at this. But what is this? That's bizarre. Those are the stairs? Yeah, the floors need refinishing, but where's the fireplace? What happened to the fireplace? It should be a wood stove there, but then you have this little grate that usually those are to catch the ashes, and usually those are in your basement. They're catching them and you pull that out. That's odd. I guess you need a new wood stove. And there on the other side you have a fireplace on that side. That's very odd, isn't it? That's okay, you can get a stove, I guess. This is a nice slate floor in there. That looks a little up and down, like you might hit your foot on there and trip on that a lot. Kitchen needs some updating. Nice stained glass window. Bathroom's seen some better days. Yeah, the bathrooms need some updating, huh? Yikes, what's that blue? They couldn't clean the shower. Oh, these, I like these built into the knee walls. I've seen that. That is a good idea. I've seen some have them really elaborate ones. It's funny that they kept this open. I guess they used this as a desk and they left these knee walls open, where here on this side they put the louvered. Shutter doors. Okay, what is that out there? That looks a little rough. Is that the shed barn? That's, oh boy, these buildings, these outbuildings look a little rough. There's a lot of land on this house with this house. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with that. I'm going to tell you about how much land there is there again. There are 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2,300 square feet. Oh, it's not that much land. It's over 7.5 acres. And it was built in the year 1900. What do you think you would have to spend to get that beauty? $250, Captain Lee says. $165, and I'm being nice here. $289. You're all too low. Too low. We need a sound effect. You're too low. Way too low. $350K. Too low. Too low. Too low, Deborah Vancouverton. Too low, everybody. You're all too low. Come on, that's almost 8 acres of prime real estate out there. You're not going anymore? Really? It's not worth it, Captain Lee? You don't think it's worth it? Hi, Annie B. $450,000. You say it's not worth it? Wow, okay. All right. Whatever. Okay, I'm going to tell you this is not a stunner from the outside. But when it comes to tranquil Hudson Valley retreats, you'd be hard-pressed to find something more idyllic than this blissful retreat on 12 private acres surrounded by forests set along a scenic country road. This recently renovated home is a fresh take on the farmhouse vernacular, where fine woods, red oak flooring, and an original fireplace create an incomparable backdrop for refined country living. 2 covered porches flank each side of the house, offering ample opportunities to revel in the surrounding natural beauty, which include distant vistas of the Catskill Mountains to the west. Stepping inside the home's stylish refresh will take your breath away. The main level boasts a sun-drenched floor plan featuring living, sitting room, dining room with fireplace, and sophisticated kitchen finished with fine European appliances. Throughout the home, the lovely views are on full display thanks to the many tall windows that invite in the sublime surroundings. Another standout space is the primary suite featuring a dressing room, a luxe shower, and a private terrace overlooking the pool and mountains beyond. There are 4 bedrooms and 3.5 spa baths within the home's 2,800 square feet. Outside, the elegant pool is ideal for al fresco dining and entertaining, and it is served by a mudroom and bath from the homeowner's level. Okay, let's take a look, okay? The Taconic State Parkway is only 3.5 miles away, which offers easy access to New York City. And it sits on 12.6 acres. Okay. Let me see if I can get an easier. Somehow that didn't give me. All right, we're gonna have to go the other way. Oops, that's the wrong picture. Hold on. What's different in this picture? Hold on. What's different in this picture? What's different in this picture? That's an interesting thing. That Is that Better Call Saul? What is that? Wow, that's a long trip down to the pool. What did you forget? Your sunscreen? Okay. I can't believe this fence is okay because a child could easily get under that fence. It's a nice big green barn. Okay, on 12.5 acres, over 12.5 acres, you can put your guesses in. Wrong. Too low, Captain Lee. Too low. Too low. Too low, too low, too low, too low, too low. Oh my gosh, you people are killing me. You're killing me. Did I tell you this is located in New York? Town of Livingston, Columbia County, New York. 3.5 miles to the Taconic Parkway to New York City. Too low, too low, too low, too low, too low. Too low. Too low. 1,495,000, guys. You got spoiled by the cheaper prices that we saw before, but things have changed now. Things have changed. We're going to Maine now. Did we look at this one? Hold on, we can't. I don't think we can go to Maine because there's not enough pictures in this listing that you would be able to. Let me see, unless. Yeah, I've got some pictures here. I don't know. We're not going to go to that one. I've just decided against it. I've decided against it. I don't want to do that one. I want to do this one. Hold on one second. For some reason, I can't show you the first picture because, okay, I'll have to show it to you this way. Because the first picture, which is really nice, they have the price on it. And that would defeat the purpose of the game. So this is the house we're looking at right here. I'm going to see if I can get a better picture. Because the front picture has the price on it. That's not it. Hold on a minute. Let me get rid of all these pictures so that we can start fresh. Okay. here's a picture. Okay, there about that. Oh, look at the cat. Look at the cat, Sharon. Look at the cat. Look at that spider. Okay, while you're putting your bids in there, let's see. Exterior paint just completed. Pattern hardwood flooring, sweeping main staircase, bay windows, turret, curving rooms, big corner lot in friendly small Maine town. In neighborhood of other grand, loved, maintained older homes, enjoy your wraparound Queen Anne Victorian house, south and east exposure, open porch area, sleeping porch on second floor, walk to play tennis across the street at Holton Parks and Recreation Center courts, easy hoof to historic Holton's downtown farmers market, the summer in the park community band outdoor concerts, or to and from Holton, Maine middle and high schools. The Holton, Maine is a Canadian border town, Aroostook County's oldest community, the country seat. Learn more about the Shire town of Aroostook County, Holton, Maine. Quick occupancy. Updated cherry cabinet kitchen, finished third floor living area, the gingerbreading, laundry, home, office, modern zoned, hot water baseboard heating, master bedroom suite with private tiled full bathroom, wood stove, brick hearth on the ground floor, den or first floor bedroom, telecommute to your online remote job that gets picked up for your relocation move to Holton, Maine. The original character not lost in the slow, methodical renovation of this circa 1903 Victorian property listing. Okay, so it's 5 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, 3,992 square feet, built in 1903. It's on 0.6 acres. What do you think? What do you think for this house? Now look at Sharon. The inside is yuck. You know, I never knew Sharon to be such a wishy-washy, disagreeable person as I have in the last few days. Sharon. Stop. But I have to tell you something. You're all over. You're all over. Under. Okay, Annie B. and Deborah Vancouvered in. You're equally negative. The house is $399,000. $399,000. $1, yeah. $3.99. That's quite a deal, don't you think so? Okay, we're going to go to Maine. Now this house, I'm going to tell you something. This house is going to be auctioned on November 11th. It's in Maine. There is an opening bid, which is what we're going to go for. That little antique store, I've seen that a million times. That's a false graph lamp. There's a dog outside. Wow, that's a little bit of a tight squeeze. Isn't that, to get to the laundry? That's a little crazy. Let's see what's in the attic. A Cabbage Patch. That looks like it's from a Cabbage Patch Kid, right? Toys, an old quilt. Pretty nice dresser. An old swing. A yoga ball. The brick thing is up nice. Okay, so what do you think the opening bid on this house, let me tell you, what do you think it would be, their opening bid on this house? It's not $1. It's not $1. What do you think? Let's see. This stunning John Calvin Stevens home was formerly the Mansion House B&B with 4 bedrooms and 4 baths. It could possibly serve that function again, provided the new owner obtains the necessary approvals and permits. John Calvin Stevens homes are cherished for many reasons, all of which drew the present owner to purchase it 36 years ago. Richly designed interior wood details include door and window framing, cupboards, pantry, butler's pantry, stairs, rails, banisters, and flooring have remained unpainted and unspoiled in this home. Pocket doors in the double living room create options for large or smaller spaces. Let's talk about the walls. A hallmark of John Calvin Stevens homes is fire stops behind the walls up to the level of the chair rails. These heavy wood reinforcement provide fire resistance as well as adding to the structural integrity. Above the wainscoting, you will find plaster and lath walls nearly everywhere except in 2 bathrooms where it had to be remodeled. It would have had to be removed to install showers and plumbing. It's in fine shape, and the current owners have stenciled period-correct decoration in the front entry and dining room. If you look carefully, you'll find hidden closets and storage areas, making use of every bit of space. Okay. It has 4 bedrooms with a small room between 2 of them, suitable for an office or a nursery, 4 baths. Please note that the chicken coop does not convey with the sale. You're not getting that chicken coop no matter how much or how many bags of money you want to bring. You're not getting it. This is going to be via an online auction with bids taking place November 8th to the 15th. The opening bid is $150,000. Captain Lee fan got it right on the nose. $150,000. So we'll follow up and see what this goes for. Okay, I found our next home. Whoopsie. We're staying in Maine. Enchanting is an understatement for this lovingly maintained 1820 center chimney cape located on 1.25 acres filled with spectacularly designed flower gardens and 385 feet of private frontage on Lemon Mill Pond. Live in the main house and enjoy the options, the large 2-bedroom, 2-story adjoining in-laws apartment, which can be an excellent source of income or a beautiful means to entertain family and friends. The updated cook's kitchen boasts granite countertops, newer appliances, a grand center island, and a bold fireplace, one of 2 working fireplaces. Enjoy meals in the large dining room, and afterwards savor desserts, drinks, and lively conversation in the front parlor by the crackling fireplace. The primary ensuite is wonderfully private with its own set of stairs to a small office library that steps up into a large vaulted ceiling bedroom with a large private bath, a walk-in shower, and a soaking tub. Prepare your morning coffee in the small kitchenette before welcoming the morning overlooking the mill pond from your private observation deck. To the back of the house is a large family room that leads to a screened-in sitting porch and large deck with a tub overlooking the extensive flower gardens and extra outbuilding. The large barn is 2 stories with storage above and an insulated workshop on the first level. This property in historic Union, Maine is a true gem and will capture your heart and soul, unless you're Sharon or Deborah Van Coverden, and it's time you will look negatively upon every aspect of this home. Okay. So, sorry. I want an orange. This is pretty cool, this built-in thing there. Longaberger basket. Oh, look at that. It's so cute. I love it. Oh, look at that little house. I love little houses. Lobster for sale. Lemons? This is the in-law suite. 2 bedrooms or something, I think it is. Okay. What do you think that is? That's a second kitchen because there's an in-laws suite, Annie B. So they have the main house and then they have either an income, an apartment, or, you know, something for their in-laws to live there. Sharon, you're killing me tonight. You really are. You really are killing me tonight. You really are. Hey, I was having it on the other house in Maine. Having what? Everybody is under. It's on 1¼ acres. Everyone is under. $670,000. 670. I'm worth every penny. Okay, now we're going to stay in Maine again. I might do this. I might do stay in like one state a night. Maybe I might do that. Go through every state except for Utah, which has no houses. So we have this. We're going to look at the EC and MI record homestead in Buckfield. This home was built in 1844 for members of the Record family who were among the first settlers in Buckfield. Since 1977, David and Pat Ledley have painstakingly and lovingly preserved this Greek Federal Revival style home that's now listed in the National Register of Historic Places. It's set on 22 plus bucolic acres. This idyllic farmhouse offers a sun-soaked kitchen and sunroom, cozy living room with a wood stove. First floor bedroom and full bath allow single-level living. 2 bedrooms, a full bath, and 2 more large rooms on the second floor can be used as additional bedrooms or living space. The barn, well, I'm glad you asked, because it's been impeccably preserved and resupported so that it offers a heated space currently being used as a workshop. Enjoy stunning views of streaked mountain and appreciate the variety of mature trees and plantings gathered from around the world and planted from seed by the Ledleys. The Record homestead is a fine example of a late transitional Federal to Greek Revival style home. The elaborate Greek Revival corner pilasters on the exterior and the Federal and Greek Revival style interior trim of the Cape building crafted by a local carpenter are among the most prominent architectural features. Other simpler features include the extremely well-maintained wood clapboard and single siding, window trim, front doorway, and granite foundation. It sits on 22 acres, over 22 acres. Please remember that when you're putting in your guesses. Yes, I know, clock there, cuckoo, right? Okay, let me just pull up the pictures in a better way. What is this door? Look at that door right there. That's odd. That must have been something to do with the heat, keeping the heat. Because it's definitely not. And you know what? I noticed like all the doors here, the beds are in the way. And they really liked wallpaper. And they must have been doing some scientific research with all of these microscopes. What must these people have been up to? It's a nice woodworking shop, isn't it? We're building furniture. Nice little shed. Gardens. All right, lock him in. What is it? What do you think? Hi, Crafty. Crafter on a budget. You used to live where? Here in this house? You used to live in this house? Oh, in Maine. Put your bids in, please. Put your bids in. Let's see. Come on, people. Put your bids in. Maine. Oh, okay. I got you, Bethy. Let's go, people. Why hasn't anybody answered but Sharon? I scared everybody? Oh my gosh, are you serious? Then I'm just going to take my ball and go home. I'm going to take my ball and go home then, guys. I'm very upset. You've hurt me very much tonight. Oh, Sharon, Annie said 89.5. I didn't see that. Annie, it didn't show up for me. Those are the only two guesses out of all of these people that are here. All of these people. Okay, then we're going to never play the real estate game ever again. We're never going to play it ever again. You've made it clear that you hate it. There's Marianne. Thank you. Here's Liza. Okay. Well, let me tell you, you're all wrong. You're all over. You're all over. You're all over. Who's loud? God, that scared the crap out of me.
We'll never play again.
No, I won't.
You're over this.
I am. I'm over there. They're not being enthusiastic about it. I'm getting fed up. Oh my
They're
God.
not playing the game right.
They're not. 285. Well, it's okay. It's better. The real answer is 374. I'm not here to hurt your feelings. I just felt that I shouldn't play since you thought I was cheating. Oh, stop it, Crafty. You were just getting them right on the nose every time. It was crazy. It's okay. You can play. Robbity Bob loves the real estate game. Okay.
She loves it.
Yeah, Alicia, we cannot play Twister.
Alicia.
374. That's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
I think so. That's a good deal. I wish one of you would buy one of these, and then we could say we helped you find a new home.
Where's this one at?
Maine.
Yeah.
But now Crafty Crafter's
old
in there
for me.
scaring everybody about Maine.
Yeah.
She's scaring everyone in there. She's scaring
Oh, okay.
She's scaring the crap out of them.
Yeah, that's my list.
I keep feeling like we've seen certain ones that I know we haven't seen. Oh, we're going to see this house because this house is interesting. We're going
Hey, Annie
to.
B says she'd buy that. That sounds enthusiastic.
You would buy it, Annie B? Good. Maybe you'll buy this one, Annie B. Let's look at this one. I feel like we looked at this one before, but we haven't. It's also in Maine. And this is Welcome to 5 Griffin Road in Windsor, Maine. This charming and beautiful 1802 center chimney cape is full of history and original character, containing many updated modern features with 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. This home has plenty of space for day-to-day living and social gatherings. Now this is on 1.2 acres. Let's take a look. Let me see if I can do the pictures better than here. It's in Kennebec County. So, and as you can see, all right, let me just put this up here. We go to full screen on this. Put this over here. I think you're going to like this, Annie B. I have a feeling. See, what's with the mirrors just against the walls? I don't know. This house has a lot of interesting things that we can look at. There's a sun on the floor here. There's some interesting artwork here. I think a very artsy person lives here. Here you have a horse hook with a cross on it. Here you have another thing with a horse, and you have a bunny plate up here. You have an elephant over here on the umbrella thingy. And then you have this big bee, looks like a newspaper, on the back of the door with a wreath on top of it. There's a lot of stuff going on in here. There's some kind of a tree here. There's whatever this is. I don't know if that's like rocks or something. Who knows? This big flower arrangement back here. This lampshade. This thing hanging over this ornate fan. Then you've got dog toys down here. Swans up here. I guess they put stuff all over the furniture for the dogs. She has at least 2 dogs, or a dog that likes different beds. A little lamp over here. Then see, they put this chalkboard here, welcome, and then their chalk ledge. They have a Dutch door over here. This must be the door to the basement. She likes milk glass, we can see that. Then she has these candies here, or are they balls? I don't know. Then Scooter would focus on this little girl's picture. Then she looks, oh my gosh, look at this. She has the poodles, like, she has the stuff that Kevin and I knew we'd find it in these older houses. We'd find this vintage stuff. Those are those poodles and stuff, the vintage stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Then she has a cranberry glass. Look, this is, I believe this is a Fenton piece right here. And she has the old beams here on the rooster lamp. Jingle bells on the door because the dog probably rings them to go outside. It's very interesting foot Right, oh, that goes to that chair. Very interesting. Another dog bed over there.
We just now entered the bathroom.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the leg on the sin was.
Oh,
Yeah.
and we have carnival glass here. Some glass here, glass here, glass there. Little typewriter for writing. This is an interesting piece up here. Then a rooster plate. Oh, here's a picture of a little dog. More bells. An angel. A little tiny stool. Dog's dish. Here's some interesting pieces. Lots of patterns going around in here. Somebody left their purse over there.
Hi,
Another
Robin
horse.
Bob.
Window. Butterflies, a copper sink. Some pottery on the walls. A bunny, bath soap. I mean, hand soap. Might be some decoupage going on over here. Angel. Oh, look at this. A wig. Uh-oh. A wig. Some dolls. That's a Cupid doll. Another one, I think. Unicorn. That looks like a cozy bed. Looks like there's something in the trunk. Okay, we're going over here. Oh, look at the blackberries. Oh, there's the horse. Oh, here's the barn where the horse lives. Look. You didn't know you get a horse. But you do, of course. Okay. Go ahead, put in your bids, Annie. You might like this one better. Got a lot going on there, but it's very cozy and quaint.
And it has a pool.
No.
Yeah, see it?
No, that's the sky.
No, there is a pool.
No, there's no pool. I'm
It's a
telling you.
tiny little pool. in
No,
the
oh, that's for the horse to drink.
back.
Yeah, it's a tiny little pool for the horse to drink out of, Sharon. It's not a real pool.
No.
You're all too high.
Shorty's full.
You're all still too high. No, Alicia. Okay, Alicia, now you're too low. $2.99. Not really my style. Cute though, but needs a refurb and declutter.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, one more before we say goodnight. Let me see. Let me see if it'll stay in Maine. I don't know. Let me see what this one looks like. this looks like. That's too much for tonight. I don't want to do that one. Hold on a minute. I'm gonna go there. Let's see. Okay, we're going to go here in honor of Sharon. Going to Michigan. And this is Grand Haven living in its finest. Welcome to this newly remodeled Victorian gem. You'll love the original character that has been maintained. As you enter, you are greeted by open foyer with hand-carved staircase, parlor with large windows for natural light, formal dining room with box beam ceiling and a butler's pantry, remodeled kitchen with marble counters, farmhouse sink, maple butcher block island, master suite with radiant floor heating, a huge walk-in closet, a second vanity. Upstairs is a second master bath, bedroom, office, guest quarters with living room, 2 bedrooms, bath, laundry, and a kitchen. Amazingly convenient, located only 2 blocks from popular restaurants, shopping, and the boardwalk, and a short half-mile walk to the Grand Haven State Park and City Beach. There's nothing left to do, Sharon, but move in and enjoy. Okay, 5 bedrooms, 2.1 baths, built in 1880, Italianate style. All right, let's see. Let me see. Hopefully, I can do it with this one. It's on Lake Avenue in Ottawa County. Do you like it so far, Sharon?
She says yes.
Oh, okay, Sharon. I agree. We need to get rid of that carpeting. And the wallpaper border. Okay, but the hardwoods are nice, Sharon, and I don't know why those mirrors, that must be a new trend, just leaning them against things. And this is a very nice room, Sharon. Don't you agree with the large windows and the white? The built-ins. And this is nice. Though I don't know where the fireplace went. That's nice, the exposed beams and stuff. Look at all the corks in there, Sharon. It's a nice kitchen, Sharon, isn't it? It's a different farmhouse sink. It's a very shallow one. Exposed brick, that's nice. Welcome to 411 Lake. Blackboard, you can teach school in there, Sharon. I feel like we've seen this room before. So similar to one we have. Oh, look, a clawfoot tub, Sharon. And a shower, which is odd. The door, why is the door there? Like you can only take in that little, what is that about? That's odd. Oh, now it's, that was weird. Okay, now it's not so weird. I don't like these sinks. I want to put those things away. Look, a little mud room and laundry room, Sharon. And a back staircase and little drawers under the stairs for your storage. Sharon, a nice deck in the back. Oh, another little girl there, and a mirror. Okay, we'll have to change the paint and stuff and the carpeting. I'll look a little desk for you, Sharon. You know, I noticed they must be very tall in their house because they've hung the picture so high. What is this pull thing about? The window over there? Oh, another little kitchenette here. Income property, Sharon. Okay, Sharon, how much? Let's see if Sharon's got it right. Hi, 61. How are you? Besides the carpet, it's nice. That's about the best response from Sharon all night. Okay, lock in some prices. $450 as it's close to town and the lake. $300, Lark says. $375, says Marianne. $350, $355. Because the lake, I'll guess it's 6:25. 6:50. 6:50, Sharon. Uh-oh, I've got to start a new Zoom too. Uh-oh, I think I just did. Okay, I just started a new Zoom. Hold on a minute. Let me start the new Zoom. Let me try to get these. I don't understand. Let me get this down. Why can't I get this down? New Zoom review. It's coming straight for you. Why can't I get this down? Right, never mind. Never mind. Nevermore. Nevermore. Okay. View gallery. View exit full screen. And over here. Dear. All right. Oh, and we're going to look at top chatters before we go. While I open the new Zoom, we're going to look at top chatters. We haven't looked at the top chatter in a while. Chatters. So while we wait, we're going to look at the top chatters. Okay. Hello. Okay. There you go. Now let me get the top chatters.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, no problem. The top chatter is Kevin Leonard. The other top chatters are 2, Robbity Bob. 3, Deborah Vancouverden. 4, Ruffin Reddy. 5, Janae. 6, Nicole Griffith. 7, Jeanette. 8, LMNW50. 9, Sharon. And 10 is Billy Boy Blue. 11, the Captain Lee fan and Batman. 12, Margot. 13, Sherry M. 14, Debbie D. 15, the Captain Lee fan. How did you make it? You have 2 different accounts. You've made it twice. You've made it at 11 as the Captain Lee fan and Batman, and you've made it on 15 as the Captain Lee fan. Chris Ree, 77, is 16. Lisa L. is 17. Sean Sneed is number 18. Mike, 19. You're above Scooter, who's 20. And Alicia Biso, 21. Jeannie's talking about life, 22. Rhonda Blackburn, 23. Tiddlywinks is 24. And Debbie L. is 25.
Oh, come on, this is for Googles. I didn't even, how did you, what?
You've been robbed. You've been robbed.
Even Billy Brooks is on there.
I
Come
know.
on.
You've been robbed. Even Tiddlywinks is on there, and Captain Lee's on there twice.
I give up.
Morning.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night.
Oh, Linda. Guess what came in the mail today?
It did.
Oh my god, it's totally did. It is gorgeous. Like, Oh,
What did
I
you
love,
get?
love it.
What did you get?
Good.
What did you get?
Brighton jewelry.
Oh,
It's really
I was
exquisite.
in those charms when I was in South Carolina.
right, right.
It really looks good on me. I was worried because, like, I don't know. I was worried it would make me look chunky or something, but it is like, oh,
No, it's very dainty. It's very pretty.
I know, I know.
Number 2, yes, Robert.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome, honey.
All right,
give it a good
everybody, we're going to go to the private Zoom, and if you want to join us in there, members and
Oh, I
Patreons
thought
are
we were.
welcome. What?
I thought we were. Never mind. Good morning, girls.
Okay. All right, everybody, we'll see you later. Love you, God bless. Prayers for all. Hi, Moonchild Pink. Glad you could make it. I'm sorry that we're leaving. Miss you. Bye, everybody. God bless. Prayers for all that need them. See you later. Bye.